Okay, what are you saying, people, and welcome back to another live stream. Now, before we get into this, make sure you follow me on my Telegram channel. I'll have the link to that in the live chat and the description, because I'll be posting a lot of different trading setups throughout the week, and you don't be missing out on that, so make sure you go check it out. But like I said, we've got another live stream, so I can talk you through what's happening in the charts and see if you have any opportunities coming up. So first, we're going to start with AUD/USD. Now, as you can see, for this one, big push to the upside recently on the 4-hourly time frame. We found support all the way down here, and from that area we had a nice push to the upside. However, now we're probably more favouring a move back down. As you can see, a very strong move to the upside, hardly any pullbacks. We had a bit of messiness from there from the elections, but from then on just been really bullish into the upside. So probably expecting some retrace, at least for AUD/USD. Or potentially price coming all the way back down. So for the daily time frame, as you can see, we're looking very bullish there. We did break out of this trend line here on the daily time frame, so we are looking a little bit bullish. But for me, we probably need to clear some levels first before we can say the trend's going to continue. We do have some resistance nearby up around here, as you can see, with that previous wicks all around that area. So potentially price still has a little bit of room to move to the upside, but we do have some nice price action starting to come back in for AUD/USD on the 4-hourly chart. You can see a nice engulfing candle there as price loses momentum to the upside. So could potentially be seeing price give us a move to the downside. We got some nice resistance around this area here. As you can see, resistance there, support there again. So potentially could be seeing a longer move to reach this area before price wants to decide he wants to continue back up or continue back to the downside. But I'm probably favouring a move to the downside rather to the upside right now for just a bit of retrace first, and then potentially could see price go further if it wants to. We did have a trend line here in the market, but you can see we did break out of that area a little bit. If we connect the recent highs, and that's acting as support, so potentially if price holds that area, could be seeing price continue further. But then again, with the current price action, could be seeing a nice bearish candle break through that and continue back down. EURUSD, similar thing, probably still expecting a move to the downside. Price action is not looking as good as some other pairs like AUD/USD. I can see if I connect the highs up here, so a test there, second there, we're kind of at that trend line there, and of course we're at this resistance as well on the daily chart. All through here is all daily resistance. As you can see here, rejection there, push downside again there, false breakout, resistance there originally, with that move to the downside, and then we're back at that same area. So again, that area could easily act as resistance again for us and potentially give us another move back to the downside. But if we do clear it and then resume off it and hold, potentially could see price go a lot further to the upside, and this whole uptrend that we've had could be looking to continue. But if we do hold at this area, could be seeing a nice move to the downside. For EURUSD, we're at very strong daily resistance. So for me, if you do hold there, could be seeing a nice move to the downside. But if we don't and we remain bullish and we break through that area, as long as we see price hold of that area again, can be expecting to go long for EURUSD. Price action, like I said, is not looking the best as of yet on the 4H. A little bit messy, but we are looking a little bit bearish. Again, we have this trend line here that price is currently stuck at, so potentially could get another swing to the downside. There's not really many levels that you could be targeting to nearby. Again, you've got the lows all the way down there, so if price was to give us that move, again, that could be quite a bearish move for us there. But we do have some previous support around here, as you can see, with all those bear and bull candles all bundled up. That was acting as support, push the upside. Price found support in the area and gave us on the move. So again, that's probably the first area of support that price could be targeting for USD. As you can see, barely any pullback. You can argue that's a little bit of a pullback there, but no real pullback in the market there. So again, could at least see a pullback before we continue higher if we're to do that. And again, that could be an area where price wants to go to. So again, a move to go and test the area could be not a bad setup for us for USD. And if we break through that, again, we can see price go a lot further. USD CAD, this one's starting to look bullish as well. Starting to see more bull candles creeping into the market in this area. As you can see, quite a few engulfing candles there, and again, recently at 10 AM as well. So, and also almost testing the previous support as well. As you can see on the daily time frame, this support area gave us the move to the upside. We go to the 4H to zoom out, you can see I'll put a line just exactly where the price tested. And you can see we're only a few pips away from that same area. So again, could be seeing a move to the upside from that area. maybe there is a little bit of room for price to go down a little bit further to properly test it, or maybe do a little bit of a false breakout. But again, we're probably favouring a move to the upside for USD CAD now. We did have this trend line going through the market there. If I connect the recent lows, test there, test there, test there, another test there. So we did break out of that. But again, we're starting to look bullish, so we could easily close back inside it and give us another move to the upside for USD CAD. So as long as we stay above this area, again, I'm still favouring a move to the upside for USD CAD. However, if we do remain bearish and break through the support all the way down there and resume off it and hold, again, we can obviously expect the whole downtrend for USD CAD to continue. But as of yet, if I go to the weekly, you can see where we are in the market. Very strong weekly support area in the market. So going to take a lot of momentum to go and break through that, and obviously hold below that. So again, probably still favouring move to the upside for USD CAD, and could be seeing a longer move as well. We've got some nice areas all up here. Price could potentially be heading for, but there again, we also got some previous support in the market along here, as you can see, support along there, term resistance. So again, could at least see a move to go and test that again properly before price continues back down or breaks through. So again, that could be the first target for us. Again, you can see it there nicely, previous support all along there, could be a nice area target, and if you break through there, could obviously go a lot higher, potentially go and testing areas like that, or all the way up there. So that's more of a long-term point of view, more daily. But from 4 hour stand, probably only looking for buys now. Again, a very strong move to the downside. You do expect some pullbacks to come back into the market, and you can look to capitalize off them. GBPUSD, this one I went long on. I mean, went short on that bearish candle there on the 4H, anticipating a move to the downside at 10 a.m. As you can see, you had a nice channel in the market here with an upper trend line up there and a lower trend line there. So expecting the price giving us potentially a double top. We did break out of that double top a little bit, but expecting that was just a false breakout, and seeing price remain bearish and give us a nice swing to the downside. So again, I'll be looking for price to go at least test the low trend line down there, and if we do, we can go a lot further if we break it. Again, we've got support just below it. So again, if we get a nice test of trend line, break through that, got support just below it. So again, could be looking to exit my trade around there. And of course, if we remain really bearish and get some nice momentum, we can go all the way to the lows down there. So again, that's more of a long-term point of view, but potentially could be heading all the way to the lows there for GBPUSD. So yeah, again, I went short on this candle there at 10 a.m, treating that as a false breakout with that bullish candle breaking above there, and could be seeing a move to the downside. However, we still do have a little bit of room to move to the upside if this trade was to fail. Of course, we do have this upper trend line here in the market, test there, second there. Could easily see price break above this support, above that resistance, and go and test that trend line for a third time, and then get the swing to the downside. And if that's the case, I'll look to exit this trade. And then if we get some nice bearish price actually coming out of that trend line for a third test, then again, I'll look to enter the same trade, expecting another move to the downside. But then again, we've got some really strong price action there on the 10 a.m. close. As you can see, pushing to the upside, low momentum, price was struggling, broke above the resistance, and then that bearish candle brought us right back down and gave us a nice bearish candle there, engulfing quite a lot of candles there. So for me, that impulsive candle does really indicate that we could be in a swing to the downside. Obviously, we could be wrong, and price could break through the resistance and continue higher. If that's the case, I'll just be waiting for price action at the upper trend line to see if we can get another swing to the downside for this one. But yeah, I'm expecting move to downside for GBPUSD. USDJPY, this is another one that I just went long on as well for the 10 a.m. candle. This one, well, we gave it on our Telegram channel, so if you're not a part of that, make sure you go join it. The link is in the live chat. So we gave out this long trade this morning, 10 a.m, expecting a move to the upside for USDJPY. Again, you can clearly see we broke out of this this support here. So again, expecting price to at least go and retest that. So again, that'll probably be our first target. But if we do get price closing back inside of that support, that could be a sign that can go a lot further for this trade. And the 4H, you can see very nice price action there, very bullish price action, pound support there, couple consecutive bull candles to the upside, closing above our moving averages as well. So again, expecting a nice trade to the upside, at least expecting price to go and retest that previous support as resistance, and then again, we'll monitor, see how price is looking around there. If we get some strong bearish price action going against us, obviously probably look to exit our trades there. But if you do get price closing back in, giving us essentially a false breakout, again, we've got a lot further to go for USD/JPY. But yeah, again, for this one, expecting a move to the upside. AUD/JPY, this one's looking a little bit bullish again. We had a trend line running through the market for this one, as you can see, resistance there, and we had a little bit of a breakout. Price goes back in, but then we're looking bullish again. Overly, I'm not too convinced about this breakout. As you can see, the price action is very slow, not very impulsive. So if we get some strong candles coming back into the market to the upside, then okay, we can be saying we've got a strong breakout. Could be seeing price maybe come to test some previous highs in the market. As you can see, previous high up there. Could be seeing the market possibly go to that area. But if we get bearish candles come back into the market, I wouldn't be surprised if we start to close back below this trend line and see a move to the downside. But yeah, again, currently we are looking bullish. So again, the obvious place we can go to is the upside and go and test areas like that. But again, won't be looking to take any trades for AUD/JPY as of yet. The price action is not really there for us. CHF/JPY, another one that's looking bullish. As you can see, with recent price action push the upside, very choppy though, as you can see, with all those wicks to the upside and to the downside there. I think that's all with the elections giving us that messiness. But again, with the recent price action from from Sunday night to Monday morning, you can see we are looking very bullish there to the upside. So again, probably can be expecting that to continue, but we are attacking some previous support and now-time resistance in the market. As you can see, support there, now-time resistance. So we could potentially be seeing another move to the downside for CHF/JPY. We do have a little bit of a trend line in the market as well. As you can see, if I connect the previous highs and price, test there, second, third. So potentially, if you do clear this area, could be seeing price remaining bullish, go and test that trend line again, then maybe give us another move to the downside. As you can see, we didn't quite test the lows all the way down here. And we previously had a swing to the downside. As you can see, push the downside back up again, didn't quite test the lows. So potentially, if you do find some resistance, there still is room to head to the downside for CHF/JPY. Again, if you do find some resistance here in the market, could see price coming back to test previous lows, or again the lows all the way down there. So again, there is still room to the downside for me for CHF/JPY. However, we are looking bullish with the current price action. So until we start to see bearish price action coming back into the market, until we see bearish price action come back to the market, again, we'll probably still expect price to continue further. But then again, if we do start to see bearish price action, we know that we do have some room to move to downside for CHF/JPY. So make sure we're going to keep an eye out for that. Euro/GBP, again, this market is still moving sideways for us. Again, you can see we've got the highs up there and you've got the lows down there with the price. So again, connecting the wicks to the lows there. So again, we do have the bit channel, and price is still looking messy. So no real clarity with this pair. Like I said, we do have a channel on the daily time frame. I'll connect the lows there, and if I connect the previous highs of price, as you can see, if I connect the wicks up there, we do have a little bit of a channel going through the market. So again, we've got the lows, test there, second there, third there, fourth. Recently had our fifth, so potentially price can move a little bit higher if you do break out of this channel. However, if you do remain in this channel, of course, you can just expect price to keep trickling down slowly, and then potentially go and break that daily channel there, and potentially come and test this key level in the market here. As you can see, previous resistance, support. So really nice key level potentially price could come to. But again, price action in the 4H, not really clear, a lot of just up and down, moving sideways. So again, no real clarity which way we could go with this one. If we do break out the channel to the upside, again, we could potentially see price come and test some previous highs all the way up here. That could be a nice place to go short again. But as of yet, there's no real clear trade for us for Euro/GBP. Euro/JPY, this one again looking a little bit bullish again, similar to CHF/JPY. As you can see, we had a push to the upside there, a lot of wicks around that area, but then again we had a nice push to the upside. Looks like price is testing some current support term resistance now, as you can see in the market here. So again, support there, now term resistance, and as you can see, we wicked into that same area about 3 times now. First there, second there, now testing again a third time. So potentially this area looks like it could be holding, obviously unless we get candles breaking out of this area. So if we do hold, we could potentially see another move to the downside. As you see, we did struggle on our way up. So again, there is room to move back to the downside, potentially go test the lows down here again, or again break through that and go a lot further. For EURJPY on the daily chart, again, you can see we didn't quite test the 200 moving average there on the daily. So again, still got room to move to the downside to go and properly test the 200 moving average like we did here. Came all the way down before we went back up. So again, potential room to move to the downside, break through that support, and go and test the 200 on the daily. So yeah, there is room to the downside if you do hold of that area and we get the bearish price action to move down. However, again, if you do look bullish and break through the area, of course you can go higher. We've got a trend line go through the market here, connect the recent highs. Again, you can see push the downside, create a low, back up, new low there. So again, could be back up to go and test that trend line again before we do get that move to go and test the 200 on the daily. But again, we have some strong resistance, and if you do hold, again, that price can move to the downside very easy from that resistance. So again, we'll be keeping my eye out for EURJPY to see how that pair plays out. Next, we'll take a look at NZD USD. This one again for us, probably expecting to move to the downside. Again, starting to look a little bit bearish, but you can see not probably as bearish as you would like to see it. On the daily time frame, again, we do have a little bit of a channel going through the market here. Looking at the highs of price and the lows, again, you can see a little bit of a channel there. We are coming up to some daily resistance. Actually, we've broken out the daily resistance. As you can see here, there's our test there, there's our second test, and actually broken out of that area. So again, potentially could see price continue further to the upside, but I'm probably more favouring a false breakout for NZD USD, catching people on the wrong side of the market. So again, the price action isn't there for us to say, yeah, we've got a false breakout. Obviously, we want to see some strong bearish candles coming back in to that same level in the market. As you can see, we're still looking a little bit bullish. We did get an engulfing candle there at 10 a.m, but again, it's quite a small one, not really convincing for us. And you can see the next candle's already bullish already. So for us to say, yeah, we've got a false breakout, potentially again, we need to see strong bearish candles coming back into the market. So potentially there is room for NZD USD to continue higher. Again, we did break out this strong area of resistance, will be turned support now, so potentially price could resume off it and continue further. But if we start to see strong bearish candles coming back in, we could be anticipating a false breakout for this one. And again, there's a lot of room to move to the downside for NZD USD. We've got support all the way along here, so potentially could see price go and test the lows of that trend line. So there's a lot of room for this one to move to the downside. I'm probably still only looking for shorts for this one. I won't be looking for longs for me. Again, we did have a big move to the upside. You do expect some retrace as well. So yeah, I won't be looking for longs for NZD USD. Next one, take a look at GPJPY. Now GPJPY, we're kind of stuck around the 200 unit average area. Price again, not really clear for this one as well. We do have a little bit of a channel going on. Like I was talking earlier during my live stream last week, as you can see, we connect the highs and lows of price. Again, we've got the tests all along there, got the highs all along there. So recently we came from a test of that upper trend line with the elections, came all the way back down, found some support. As you can see, support all along here, found some support, and from then again looking bullish as well for GPJPY. So potentially could be seeing price continue further to the upside for this pair. Again, we've got the trend line up there, which is not a bad target for GPJPY. Could easily see a move to go and test the trend line up there, and potentially see price go and clear that and move further to the upside. Of course, you've got resistance all the way up here, so potentially could see price go and break that trend line to go and test the resistance up there for GPJPY. Yeah, but for this one, definitely expecting a move to the downside. If you do go and break through that trend line and go and test the resistance, that could be a nice area to move to the downside from. But as yet, kind of in no man's land for GPJPY, kind of in the middle of those channels. Again, no real clear trade for us on the 4-hourly time frame, so I won't be looking at placing any trades for that pair as of yet. AUD/NZD, this one, you do have a channel for this one. Again, we were expecting a move to go and test the upper trend line for us for us on ADNZD, but you can see we haven't quite tested it yet, and price has already found some resistance there with that bearish price actually coming into the market. As you can see, we already had a channel in the market for this one for ADNZD. As you can see, got the highs up there, got the lows up there. We didn't quite get a test of the lower trend line, but price did find some strong support and gave us a nice push to the upside. So again, you can see nice push to the upside. We were expecting price to go a little bit further, go and test the trend line up there. But as you can see, we did find some resistance from there. Big strong bearish candle coming to the market, and from there we've been looking a little bit bearish. So potentially price does have a room to potentially come all the way back down, maybe form a double bottom and then continue to the upside, which again could be a nice area to look to buy back into this pair, and again aim at some previous highs or the trend line up there. So there is room to move to the upside. Of course, we could just be having a pullback right now. Price could look bullish again and continue further, go test the trend line up there. Still a possibility, but I wouldn't want to be getting to the market where we are now. If the market was to move lower, potentially go and give a double bottom down there. Again, really nice place to get back into some buys for us for ADNZD. So only if you move lower, again, nice place to look to buy the market. But as of yet, I won't be looking at any opportunities for this one as of yet. Next we got GBP AUD. Now GBP AUD, we did see price breakout of this trend line here in the market. As you can see, this was what keeping us in the uptrend. We found some resistance up here, and then from that price fell to create the higher highs and broke to the downside. So for us, GBP AUD is looking bearish again. As you can see, big push to the downside, and from there, see we've just been moving sideways. We've definitely found some support, but then again we found some resistance just above us as well. So we've just been moving sideways on the lower time frames. Can't really see it here, but for those wicks shows us that in the lower time frames, price is just moving up and down for GBP AUD. So again, if you see price break the support, again we do have room to move to the downside for GBP AUD. Of course, we've got some lows all the way up down here. Price found support, and of course we've got some resistance here. Price can come and find support there again. So there is a lot of room for price to move to the downside if you do break through the support there. But then again, if you break through the resistance just above us, again we can see price climb high. Maybe do have some previous support in the market around here. Again, support there. Could we see price come and test that area up there? So again, there is a possibility of price breaking either to the upside or to the downside for this one. We are just moving sideways for now for GBP AUD on the lower time frames, as you can see there. So again, no real clear trade for us for GBP AUD on the 4H. Again, maybe on the lower time frames could look to trade that, but as of yet, no clear trade for us. So I won't be looking to put on any GBP AUD trades on. AUD CAD, this one we're expecting a move to the downside. This one we actually gave out on my Telegram channel this morning, so expecting a move to the downside for AUD CAD. As you can see, we're looking bearish again. Got some nice resistance in the market here. As you can see here, got some nice support there, nice resistance there again, and again resistance there. So again, a nice area of resistance. And of course, we also got this trend line going for the market as well. As you can see, test there, and now third test. So potentially could be seeing a move to the downside for AUD CAD. Got this trend line in the market as well, so potentially could be testing the lows of that trend line. Again, first test, second test, could be seeing a third test there. And if we break through that, again, we can go a lot further. Previous support there, and again, we've got support all the way down there, which we had the original push to the upside from. So there's a lot of room to the downside for AUD CAD. You can see we're testing the upper trend line there. So again, we definitely had our push to the upside. Do expect at least to move to the downside for some retrace, and again potentially go and test the lows of there. Again, we've got a resistance up there and the stop loss just above the resistance and that trend line. So there is potential move to the downside for AUD CAD, and again, it's probably expecting a test of the low trend line. If we break through that, can go a lot further. So currently I'm in 3 trades at the moment: GPUSD, my USD as well, which gave on Telegram, and I'm also in NZD CHF, which I took last week. As you can see, we are in some decent push to the downside and some profit there, but then from Sunday night to Monday morning we were looking a bit bullish again and see another push to the upside. So again, my resistance is up there, which is the area market I'm looking at, and if you break through that, my stop loss is just above it. So if you break through that and close out my stop loss, we'll be looking to exit that trade. And we do have a bit of a trend line as well in the market here as well, which I was originally looking to see if we can get a test of this lower trend line. You can see you didn't quite get a test, price remained bullish again, and is now looking like it's testing the resistance up there again. So as long as price stays below this resistance and we fail to break that trend line, I will be looking to stay in the trade. But if price does remain bullish, breaks through that resistance, breaks through the trend line, and closes at my stop loss, I will be exiting the trade. Because there is a little bit of room you can move to the upside. Of course, you've got resistance up there, so price could be wanting to move to go and test that area or test that area up there, so won't be hanging on to the trade if it does break through the resistance and it fails. So again, looking for a move to the downside for this one, at least go test the lower trend line, and if we break through that, potentially go and test support down here. As you can see, support, so it could be a nice area price wants to go and test before going back up or continuing further. So looking for a swing to the downside for NZCHF since last week, and we're still below that resistance, so we'll be holding to this trade. Also in GP USD, expecting a move to the downside for this one, expecting a low trend line, and also in USD as well. So going to be watching these trades, see how they pan out. If anyone wants me to look at any different pairs, any different charts, any different markets, just put it in the live chat, and I'll make sure I'll get back to you and give you some analysis on that chart. But like I said, just watching how all these trades play out during the live stream, and just checking out how other pairs are getting along. Okay, so we're going to take a look at Euro GBP and Euro JPY. Okay, so Euro GBP 15-minute chart. Let's clear this up first. Okay, so on the 15-minute chart, okay, so like I've been saying on the high time frames, Euro GBP is quite messy, but it looks like we do have a little bit of an uptrend for Euro GBP on the lower charts. If I can see it better on the 1 hourly, as you can see, yeah, we do have a little bit of uptrend on the lower time frames. You have some resistance that we are currently stuck at. As you can see here, is what's been keeping us failing to create those higher highs. So again, if we jump to the 15-minute, you can see we did have a nice push to the upside. Looks like price is giving us a little bit of a trend. As you can see, kind of got the resistance there, uptrend there in the market, so we're kind of just squeezing in between the resistance and the trend line there as well. So potentially there is room to the upside, but then again, you are taking the risk there of failing to break that resistance. As you can see, we've attempted to break it a few times now, so it is a strong area resistance. So if we fail to break it, obviously potentially we've seen price coming back down to test this trend line again, and then back and forth, and just basically seeing which one will break first, either resistance or the trend line. If you break through the trend line, you can see price continue further to the downside. Of course, got support all the way here, which you originally came from, and then if you break through that, and then we can go a lot further. As you can see, with the lows all the way down there. But from the 50-minute time frame, again, a little bit of uptrend building up, but as you can see, the resistance is what's keeping us from creating those higher highs. So potentially there's room to go and test that resistance again. Then of course we'll see what happens if you go and break it. If you go and break it, then there's a lot of room for your trade to run. Potentially could be testing the upper trend line on the 4H. As you can see here, got this trend line here going through the market. If I connect the recent high, well, the highs of this move, the highs there and the highs there again. If you break through that resistance there on the hourly, you've got room to go and test the trend line, and then potentially go a lot further. But 50-minute time frame still looking a little bit bullish. Probably can be expecting a move to go and test the resistance, or maybe go test the trend line first and back up again. But kind of just stuck between those two areas of the market, and it's just up to the market which one it wants to break first, either the resistance or the trend line. So do a little bit of uptrend, so along is not the worst, it's not the bad decision. Again, there's room for price to move to the downside, maybe test the trend line again, or go and test the lows down here. So I hope that helped. Euro JPY. Euro JPY 50-minute. Well, look at, okay, so hourly again. We're coming up to this very strong resistance there, so potentially could be seeing price fall back to the downside. As you can see in the 4H, we've got support there, term resistance. So there is some strong resistance around there currently where we are in the market. As you can see in the 4H, support turn to resistance, drops to the hourly, again resistance there. You can see we tried to break it there, failed to do so, failed to break it there again, and we're attempting to break it there again. So potentially could see price finally go and break this and potentially go a lot higher, but we are approaching some strong resistance on the higher time frames on the 50-minute chart, so you need to be aware of that if you are long in this position. Again, there is room to move to the downside first. We do have a little bit of trend line in the market here. As you can see, got a test there, second there, third. So maybe price wants to go have another test of that before breaking it. And if it does break it again, there's room for your trade to run. But if it failed to do so, like we've done in three previous attempts, you can easily just break through the trend line and trend to the downside, where you can see potentially going testing the lows all the way down there on the 15-minute. So again, it's not probably the best place to get into the market if you got into the market around here, because there is definitely some previous resistance there, but then again there is some support there with the trend line, so potentially you could see price go and test that before continuing. But if you do break for that trend line, I'll probably look to exit my trade, just because we have that strong resistance on the 4H, and potentially could be seeing a move to the downside from that area. Obviously we could break it, and if that's the case, again your trade could run quite well, but again it's just a bit of a tricky area in the market where we are now. So yeah, I hope that helped. And gold as well. So gold as well, you can see we're starting to get those wicks as well on the higher time frames, again approaching that resistance area. So again, probably not the best price to be buying buying these, buying gold anyway, because you probably want a pullback to happen in the market first. As you can see, we had a big move on the higher time frames on the 4H to the upside. You expect to see some retrace in the market, and of course the hourly there as well. And even the 15-minute, we've had a big move to the upside. So probably want to be waiting for price to fall back to the downside first before you look to buy this. Again, obviously we are looking very bullish in the higher time frames, like the daily. Again, you see that big bullish candle closing to the upside there. So we are looking bullish on the higher time frames, but then again, probably want to be trading on the higher time frames rather than the lower, because we could be seeing a pullback happens before that continues. So again, probably not the best place to look to buy gold at this moment in time. But again, similar to the other pairs, bit of a trend line in the market. If you break through that, probably want to be exiting your trade, because you can see we are running out of steam to the upside there. So could be seeing gold fall back to the downside first before it continues. So probably want to be waiting for a better price when gold drops a little bit more. Of course, it can still go to the upside and continue on and create some new highs, but of course, chances of that happen are less probable than us pulling back first and that continuing. So need to be aware of that, especially when you're trading on the lower time frames. So probably my advice is probably wait for price to pull back first, find a better price before you want to look to buy that, especially on the 15-minute anyway. So I hope that helped. Okay, so I'm explaining my GP USD trade. Okay, so I've gone short on this candle on the 4H, and this was the resistance that I was looking at for GP USD. As you can see, previous resistance there gave us the move to the downside all the way to go and test the lows of this channel, and then we kind of tested that same resistance again. We did do a little bit of a false breakout, as you can see, price closing above that area, but then we get that strong bearish candle close back below, and for me that was just a false breakout. So I'm looking to go short on that candle there. So essentially the resistance that I'm looking at is this level here. So, and you can see we've got those wicks to the upside, so I give myself a little bit of room to work with. So my stop loss is around this area here, around the 1.321. 562 area. So again, taken on the 4 hourly time frame. So again, my stop loss is just here, and the reason my stop loss is there because potentially price could remain bullish. Take out my resistance there, take out the stop loss, and go test this trend line for a third time. So you can see a first test there, second there. So potentially could be seeing price remain bullish and go and test that area again for a third time before giving us a swing to the downside. So if that's the case, I want to get off this short trade out of resistance and wait again for price action at this channel there. So if this trade does fail and the resistance gets broken, again I want to be exiting that trade and then looking again at the channel there to catch the swing to the downside there. So the stop loss is just above there, so we get price closing at that area. Again, I'll be looking to exit the trade and see if we can get some nice bearish price action coming at this channel now for a third time, and then look to capture the same trade to the downside there. So yeah, my stop loss is just above those wicks in the 4 hourly time frame around there, and looking for a nice swing to the downside. So I hope that clarified things for GP USD. Okay, so it's just gone 12:30, so I'm going to look to end the live stream soon, but I'm going to do a quick rundown of the charts and see what's happening for the market. So far, AUD/USD still we're still looking bullish there, as you can see with that that news that came in. That turns out was because of the coronavirus vaccine. As you can see, big push to the upside, but a nice bearish engulfing candle in that area. But then you can see the current candle looking quite bullish. We are pulling back a little bit, as you can see, with the wick to the upside there. But then again, we've got an hour and a half before that candle closes, so it'll be interesting to see if you do continue pulling back or we go and fill the wick. There is some strong resistance around this area, as you can see, with all those wicks in that area to push the downside, retest the area, and then had the move to the downside. So again, that wick is right in the middle of that area. So again, there's resistance there, strong resistance. So potentially could be seeing price come to the downside from this area. Again, my bias is still to the downside for AUD/USD. We are looking bullish, so again, if you do close with a strong bullish candle into that area, could easily see price go and break it. So I'll just be looking at how the candles close. So far, we are looking bullish and could be seeing that continue. If we do get a bullish close there, we'll be looking at how the candle closes. EUR/USD, similar thing, push the upside we had with the vaccines, but again, not as strong as AUD/USD. We're starting to pull back a lot more. Again, we do have resistance already found in that area for those wicks. So again, EUR/USD probably still expecting at least some retrace in the market. As you see, we had a big push to the upside from this area down there. Before was no pullbacks really. So again, expect price to go find some support if it wants to keep going in that bullish trend. We've got some support around this area, as you can see, push the upside, bear candles coming back down, testing that area before continuing to the upside. So could see price potentially come back to this area at least before continuing higher or maybe even further. So there is a lot of downside potential for EUR/USD, and looks like we have some resistance where we are right now. USD CAD, again, this one pushed the downside. As you can see, currently looking very bearish as of yet. We had, if we go on the daily time frame, you can see we're at this support level and currently we're actually below it. And if I was to get my level and draw the line, we can actually see price is actually closing below it. So that could potentially just be knocking off people's stop losses and looking for another bit moved back to the upside. So my bias is still to the upside for USD CAD. Again, it'd be interesting to see how this candle closes. There is still room that we can move to the downside. Of course, with that bearish candle, the momentum could continue a little bit more. And then again, probably look to anticipate a false breakup of that, expecting a move back to the upside for USD CAD. But obviously I wouldn't be looking to go long on that candle there, very bearish. Could easily see price continue there for USD CAD, so we'll be keeping my eye out for that. USD/JPY, this one's looking very bullish, as you can see with the vaccine that come in, and USD/JPY shot to the upside. Again, we were looking at some previous resistance from support in the market. As you can see here, all support along here, time resistance as well. So we're expecting at least a retest of that area. You can see we are definitely getting that now. So price has potentially gone and tested that and given us a very big bullish candle to the upside. So could easily see price continue for USD/JPY. But again, we're probably going to see some retrace soon of this move. As you can see with the size of that candle there, very big move. It actually just retraced this whole push to the downside. So again, possibly could be seeing a false breakout for us for USD/JPY on our hands. As you can see for the weekly time frame, you can see that weekly candle is what broke us out of this support in the market. As you can see here, we had this support, and then last week's candle broke us out of that support. So potentially could see this week close back in, and then that candle just completely engulfed and give us a false breakout. So that is on the cards for USD/JPY. You can see the momentum on the 4H, unless we start pulling back majorly over the course of the next hour and a half. I'm probably still favouring USD/JPY to keep going to the upside, but could be due some retrace soon. GBP/USD, I'm currently in a short trade for this one. You can see the current candle is looking bullish for GBP/USD. Still expecting a move to the downside, and still will be remaining in this trade. We haven't broken through the resistance yet, so still be looking for the move to the downside. Again, that was the resistance I was looking at. Previous resistance there, expecting a little bit of a double top. As you can see, nice bearish candle there, went short on that candle, but the current candle is looking quite bullish as well. So potentially could see price go and break for this resistance and continue higher. If that's the case, I'll be looking to exit the trade, and could potentially see price go and test the upper trend line there As you can see, a first test there, second test there, could be seeing a third before price gives us the swing to the downside. So that's still very much possible, and if that's the case, I'm looking to exit this original trade and look to get some bearish price action further up that channel, and again probably targeting the lower trend line there, and if you break through that, could go much farther. Got some support along here, could be looking at, of course got the support all the way along there. So again, a lot of targets to the downside for GBUSD. However, there's still room to move to the upside, so I'll be aware of that. But as long as we stay below that resistance and we hold and we don't hit my stop loss, we'll be remaining this trade and just going to see how that plays out. Euro GBP, again, not too much with this one. Again, still moving sideways. We got our channel in the market there, so unless we go and break through that, again, we could probably still expect price to move in this messy pattern there to the downside there. Again, we do have approached this channel on the daily chart, as you can see with the trend line going for the market there, so could easily see a push to the upside and break through this channel. And if we do, again, can see a move to go and test the highs all the way up there, which would be a nice place to get back in the market for some shorts. But as of yet, for me, it's not a real clear position to get into, so I won't be looking at putting any trades on that one just yet. Euro JPY, again, looking very bullish, as you can see there with the JPY weakness. Big push to the upside, got previous resistance, previous support, sorry, going through the market here, turn resistance. We tried to break it a few times, as you can see, test there, test there, test there, test there. So tried to break it a couple of times, and now with that news coming, big push to the upside, breaking through that area. And of course, Euro JPY is looking very bullish now. And we do have the trend line going for the market, which we're currently testing. As you can see, a test there, move to the downside, new low, back up, new high, new low. So this potentially could be the new high, or see price continue to break through it. Of course, you can see the momentum there could easily take us through the trend line. We got resistance up there, which price could be looking to go and test. But yeah, we are looking very bullish for JPY. So unless we pull all the way back down before the 4H candle closes, I'm probably still favoring this to continue to the upside. Next we've got NZD USD. This one again, similarly, I'm still expecting a move to the downside for this pair. I think we're moving in this channel on the daily time frame. I'll just clear that up, so you can see on the daily time frame moving a nice channel. So again, looks like we could be taking out the recent highs in the market there, which could potentially be setting up for a good trade to the downside actually, for potential false breakout. As you can see, very strong resistance on the daily time frame. We're currently breaking out of that, so again, it could be setting up for a false breakout, but obviously you could still resume off that level and continue to the upside, as you know, previous resistance will be turned support. So again, if price comes back to test that level and then resumes off it with some good bullish price action, then again, we can be saying that NZD USD can be going a lot higher. But for me, I'm still anticipating a swing to the downside for this one. Of course, the price action is not there for us to get any trades to the downside. Obviously, you can see we're looking very bullish. Obviously, the current candle is looking bullish as well. So yeah, won't be looking for any shorts for NZD USD as of yet, but we'll be keeping my eye on it for this pair to the downside. So it could be seeing a push to the downside soon, but then again, currently looking bullish, and as long as we stay bullish, price can easily continue to the upside for us. GBP JPY, again, another JPY pair looking very bullish again, big push to the upside. We do have, looks like we have a little bit of a channel going on now for GBP JPY. Connect the highs of price, so a test there, second test there, first test there, second there. So you can see we could be on our way up to go and test the higher trend line, or go and test some previous resistance in the market. As you can see here, resistance along there, resistance, resistance. So we could be coming up to that area, and as you can see, I think we just tested it a little bit there. So again, incoming to some resistance for GBP JPY, but with that bullish candle there, if we do close like that, could easily see price go and break for that level and continue higher. And that's the case, could be seeing price go and test the highs of this trend line up here, which could be another nice area to short GBP JPY. Expect another swing to the downside for the lower trend line, or potentially go and test some support levels if you go and break through that. And of course, you've got the support all the way down there. So still expecting a swing to the downside for GBP JPY. Whether we get it at the resistance or get it out of the trend line up there, we're not sure. Of course, with the bullish price action there, very strong push to the upside, it's probably favouring price to go and break this area now and go and test the trend line up there, which can probably be a better trade for us anyway. So we'll be keeping my eyes out for GBP JPY, but looking very bullish, and could potentially see price go and break through that area. And finally, we're going to take a look at NZD CAD. NZD CAD, again, not too much happened with with the news that just came out again for this pair. Do have some strong resistance going through the market there on the daily time frame, as you can see there. So resistance there, resistance there again. So potentially could be seeing a move to the downside for NZD CAD because of the resistance on the daily time frame. And of course, you've got this trend line going through the market there as well. As you can see, a test there, second there, now we're having our third on the 4-hourly chart. So again, that'll be providing us some resistance from NZD CAD in the daily time frame. So I could easily see it move to downside for this pair if you do look to hold that resistance. Again, probably expect to move to go and test the previous support down here. As you can see, support there, resistance there, so a nice level market could potentially head to. But then again, if we see price turn bullish again and break through the resistance, break through the trend line and resume off it again, we can probably expect price to go a lot further. Again, we do have some support, resistance there that price could potentially head to. Again, the resistance all the way up there. But currently, as long as we stay below this area, I'm still favouring a move to the downside rather than to the upside for NZD CAD as of yet. But again, if you do start breaking through those levels, then again, I'll probably change my bias. But as of yet, still expecting a move to the downside for NZD CAD. And again, probably have my targets around there. But if you go break through that again, we can go a lot further. Got support running through there, and of course got support all the way down there. That's more of a long-term move for NZD CAD. But yeah, we are starting to look bearish as well, as you can see with the current candle, a wick to the upside as price was trying to break through the resistance, trying to break through that daily trend line, and was failing to do so and starting to look bearish again. Obviously, still got about an hour and 20 minutes before that current 4H candle closes. Could easily pull back and close bullish, or continue further and close bearish. I'm not too sure, so I make more of a better judgment at 2 p.m. when the candle closes. But as of yet, looking bearish, and if you do close like that, could be at a nice potential move to the downside for NZD CAD. So yeah, that's the end of the live stream. I hope you all enjoyed it. We'll be looking to stay in my trades throughout the rest of the day, as long as they don't go and hit my stop loss, and I will be commenting them on my trades as well tomorrow during the live stream, and of course how the other pairs have got on. So I hope you all enjoyed today's live stream. If you haven't already, make sure you join me on my Telegram channel. I'll left a link to that in the live chat, because we'll be posting a lot of different trading setups throughout the week, and you don't be missing out on that, so make sure you go check it out. But once again, thank you for joining us during the live stream, and until the next one, I'll see you later.